Hello and welcome to my review of the Klarus XT11S. This is just a shot here to show you exactly what you get included in the pack. There's a charging cable, spare O-ring strap and a holster as well as the torch. Now this torch comes with a battery. There are a few different sizes available. Looking at the front of the packaging, we get some more information. We have 3 settings here. Also take a note of the range as well. We get some more details on that on the side. We have a maximum runtime up to 260 hours. It's drop proof and waterproof. On the back section we get much more detailed information about the output. We have 4 power levels, also a strobe and SOS. You'll see the runtimes there. Now you can use CR123A cells, but you get the included 18650. The user manual is worth looking at if you haven't used one of these torches, because it explains how to customize the modes yourself. And it's quite good at doing that. There's no real complaints as far as the instructions are concerned. It takes a little while to get used to the torch, but after a short time you'll find it fairly straightforward, and it works quite well, the 3-button arrangement. Then we also have a charging indicator light which gives us the levels of the battery, and of course built-in micro USB port for charging. This is a quick look at the cable, quite a nice thick chunky cable, or you can use your own micro USB cable if you have them. Onto the strap there is a central adjuster, quite a nice quality, bit of flex in it too. And onto the case there's a D-ring at the top with Velcro fastening on the back. There's also a belt loop under that. Front section fastens with Velcro, and as you'd expect it's custom made for the torch, so it's a pretty good fit. And there's also some waterproof material on the inside of that too. Now taking a look over the torch, we have a very nice anodized Type 3 aluminium exterior, and it feels very well machined too. Here we are opening the flap up. Make sure you keep that closed to keep dust and water out. On the bottom we have 2 switches. There's a paddle and there's a silicone covered one. Now you can use these for whatever you want, as in a strobe mode, or you can use, I tend to use them for the one for high and one for low, instant high and low. Here we can see the other side of the torch, and unscrewing the bottom. That collar can actually be removed as well. We have springs inside there, and take out the protector. And this is the 3400 milliamps an hour cell. When I tested this, it came in at just over that. This is sold with some lower capacity batteries, and there are some slightly higher ones on the market too, so you're going to get good run times for this particular cell. On the inside you'll see there's another spring at the top. You can't remove the head, but the spring prevents any movement with the battery. So no complaints as far as the build goes. It's very nicely machined, and I'd expect that at this price. Here we can see the LED in the middle of the power switch. We have 3 colours for that. That gives you an idea of the battery capacity and level. A lot of torches just have 2. Now you can flick through the power levels on the bottom, or you can use the side switch to do that. And you can also slightly press the bottom one to activate the light, just a quick light without actually turning it on completely. So it's quite a nice, well thought out design. If you thought maybe 1 or 2 switches was great, the 3 is actually quite nice because it gives you that instant access as well. And that's a look at the strobe mode. Checking out the LED here. Now this is completely different to the other types of torches that I've used, in particular the GT version with smooth reflector on the inside, but the LED is quite a different one. Quick waterproof test, as you'd expect. IPX8, you can submerge it in water, make sure the flap's closed. Now I tested the charging rate for the torch, and it was just a touch under the GT model, just under 0.9 amps, so not the fastest that I've used, but still it probably avoids the need for using an external charger. Now outside now I have the 11S, and I'm just cycling through the power modes just to give you an idea of what the beam looks like. This torch is more designed towards the throw, as in the length and distance that it can give out. You can see here right down at the lowest setting, and then moving up to the turbo again. All of these torches are temperature controlled, these Klarus range. They're not timer controlled, so they'll actually ramp down once they start to get a bit too hot, and it can vary depending on the conditions that you're in. If it's freezing cold outside, you get a bit more run time. Now I've compared it to the Rofis TR20, and I'm going to cycle through the power modes on this too. The reason for that is the LED that they're using is actually identical. So it seemed like the most obvious comparison between the two is to just put them together and see how they perform. You'll see that the beam pattern is quite different on these, despite the fact that they are using exactly the same LED and have a similar power level output. Now I'm with the 11S now, and then I'm switching to the Rofis, so you should be able to see the difference between the two at a closer range. You'll see the S here has a slightly narrower beam area on the outside, with the Rofis spreads out a bit more. I'll zoom in on a different section now. You can see I'm on the 11S and then switching over to the Rofis. So the Klarus definitely has a bit more power. You can see the central area is brighter with the 11S compared to the Rofis. Now here's a test I've done comparing to the GT. They're all at turbo, about 100 foot. The GT is identical pretty much to this. It's slightly longer, but it has the different LED, and the throw of the light is quite different. Moving on to the S now, which we're reviewing today, you can see you have a more concentrated beam in the middle and less spread on the outer areas. I've also included the Rofis in this, so you'll be able to see again that's kind of halfway between the two torches in terms of the spread. Really, it's down to your own taste, which you prefer. I think the Rofis is the most balanced. Now, closer distance, about 8 foot with the 11S, and then moving over to the Rofis. Again, you'll see a more intense beam in the middle on the Klarus. At about 35 foot again, same test. Rofis now, you can see the difference between the two. The Klarus has definitely got more power output in a smaller concentrated area. Summing up with the Klarus XT11S, overall design and quality of the torch is excellent. I really don't have any complaints on that side of things, particularly the 3 buttons, which can be customized to your own personal taste, and I like the fact that they've incorporated a battery level indicator in the central area too. That's a good idea, and it works very well. A couple of small points: didn't quite charge as fast as some of the other torches that I've tested, and the beam is quite concentrated, so it will really depend on what your own personal taste is. What I'll do is put the links up for some of the other torches so you can compare the different models that I've looked at and see which one suits you best, but it's certainly an excellent quality torch.